My name is Roger Hill. I'm the chair of the National Democratic Party. So why have we decided to establish this new party? Well, it's not just for the fun of it, it's because we feel it's necessary. If you look at British politics today, we have the situation where none of the major parties have any plans for the reconstruction of Britain to stop this massive decline that's taking place over the last 40 years. And this massive decline can only be stopped by a programme of investment in industry, investment in science, mathematics, and above all, investment in people. But you may ask yourself, well, why hasn't it happened already? Well, there are real reasons why it hasn't happened. The fact is, Britain is no longer in control of its own finances. The big American companies, which you've probably never heard of, that own trillions of dollars, they have bought into British companies, bought into our banks, taken controlling shareholdings, and dictate what our companies do and what our financial sector does. This is a situation that's developed over the last 40 years with deregulation of finances. It's both a tragedy for our country, but it's not absolutely necessary. We can reverse the situation and redevelop our country and stop its spiral downwards. So what we're saying is the situation is, and it is, that these companies which own trillions of dollars, and if you think about it, if you counted up to $1 trillion, it would take you over 1,000 years. And this is the power of these big American companies like BlackRock, Vanguard, and City Street. What has to happen is that Britain takes control over its own finances. What has to happen is that Britain takes control over its own infrastructure. What has to happen is that Britain takes control over its own investment in the future. We cannot do this if these American companies, or any other foreign companies for that matter, control our finances. This is the only real way that Britain can retake control of its future. Right, here are some examples which will demonstrate the hold and the control that these American finance companies have over not only of our major corporations, but of our banks and our finance system and even our pension funds. So please study these carefully before I go on to the next segment. So, what the National Democratic Party is about is getting Britain to invest in its future, invest in our industry, invest in our people, not invest to increase the profits of the big American financial companies. So how do we do this? What do we propose as a National Democratic Party that we can do? Well, the first thing that we need to do is overcome the ignorance that exists about this control. We and others need to educate the public about this situation. That is our first commitment as a party. Our second commitment is to try to build an alliance which will be reflected in Parliament to pass laws that will change the situation. Pass laws which will bring infrastructure into public ownership, which will bring our banks into public ownership. Pass laws which will set up a national investment bank in which we can consult right across the board all sections of the economy, all sections of the people, about what we have to do. We can consult with industry, we can consult with education institutions, we consult with the trade unions, we consult right across the board about a national investment strategy. But what is clear, is essential for us, if we're going to keep up with the rest of the world, is to invest in science, in IT. What is clear that we have to invest in our people, in its education, in training, in developing new ideas for the new world. So what we want to do is to get an alliance that believes in the future of Britain, not just the profit making of the US financial sector. Thank you for listening.